Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
Which is a perfect pivot to Memphis because Memphis is going to be the team that FAU is competing with for the American Athletic Conference Championship this year. Memphis today beat Vanderbilt 77-75 behind 28 points from David Jones, who, I mean, he's having an all-American caliber season. We'll get to that in a little bit when we talk about our midseason awards. But Doug, I want to go to you first. Just how good is this Memphis team and how good is this Memphis program? And are they – I feel like they're a real threat with Naquan Tomlin to be able to make a run deep in the tournament this year. Is that a crazy
Agreed.
take?
Not a crazy take. Not a crazy take. Some shooting shot selection questions I would have, but Naquan Tomlin's he's a dog. I like him a lot, and with that addition, should only help him. Like we don't know what it does to the locker room in terms of somebody's minutes are going to get pinched a little bit. I mean, you have probably the oldest point guard in the country, right? So you're good there in terms of experience. He's decades seen it all, and you have some guys that can give you 30 in a night. And I do think that, and maybe this is Matt can speak to it. Like, look, Penny was probably not super ready when he got the job, but again, he knew basketball a ton. It's more a question of running a program than it was actually coaching the team in the games because he had coached previously because he's played that much. But now that you've coached these games and you have veteran players, you have older players, I think he's coaching better. I think coaches can get better too. It's like we always talk about a player progression and their bell curve. We don't talk about coaches. I think Penny's better. So yeah, I'm buying. I think it's going to be a war between the two of them. And Memphis is a program that should be super competitive in this era because I think Memphis's grant and aid program has always been seen as a little bit different than most of the teams they're competing against. And now there are no rules. So hey, if FedEx doesn't have to like funnel it through somebody's brother to get $250,000 to get a player anymore. Now they can just give it to the collective or have them represent it. So this is like a dream. Wait, Memphis is like, wait, we can buy kids and we don't have to fake it anymore? That's awesome. How do we do that? Like, you just do it. So yeah, I think Memphis is fine, man. Honestly, like here's one other issue. Sorry, Matt. I'm not trying to pinch your time. I apologize.
Nope. No. You're good.
You got it. Penny's learned the hard way. Can't have all Memphis kids, man. You just can't. Like, that is the height of toxicity. You just can't. My dad, my late father, was a walk-on a JV player at Ohio State when they had John Havlicek and Bob Knight and those guys and Jerry Lucas. And he took a class that Woody Hayes used to teach. And Woody Hayes would say he wouldn't take a kid from Columbus unless he'd be an all-league player by his junior year and All-American by his senior year because the expectations are always exponentially higher. And every kid goes home like from Christmas and bitches about their head coach and how much the head coach is. But when it's right there, and it's Memphis, and Memphis is a town, it's a great basketball city, but all their hanger-oners and all their supporters, they all think all their guys should be playing for the Grizzlies. They can play or whatever. It's just too toxic. So I think that's the other part is you got to get away from having a team where look at John Calipari. When he first took over, it was all Memphis dudes. When they went to the national championship game, there weren't very many Memphis dudes. And again, you can see the same thing with Penny.
I just want to say this. I just want to say I'm so happy that Doug is on this with me tonight because I'm always the guy that's advocating for the coaches. That's always saying you got to let these coaches grow. You got to let them develop. Penny Hardaway's in year 6 right now, so I don't care what his playing career was. I don't care all of his NBA accolades and all that. It's different when you slide into that seat and become a head coach. It's completely different, and you've got to go through some things. I think the point about recruiting Memphis, listen, Memphis has been good to me. I've coached some great players from Memphis. just to name a few: Chris Chioza, Greg Pryor, recruited Jalen Crutcher to Chattanooga. I ended up taking the UMass job. Probably should have stayed at Chattanooga. I had Jalen Crutcher and Rodney Chapman both in our backcourt there before I took UMass. Jonathan Burroughs Cook. I mean, there's some great players out of Memphis, but to Doug's point, you can't have a whole team of them because they're in their hometown. There's a lot of distractions for those guys. And I just think Penny knows now, who he is as a head coach and who does he do a great job coaching and his culture and how does he build it. And great player, but you got to give these coaches some times to grow and develop. And I'm so glad that Doug made that point because I feel like a broken record saying that point on Field of 68 all the time. I'm always advocating for the coaches and give these guys some time and let them figure out who they are.
Matt, it's weird. It's like, Rob, how long have you been doing this?
Too long. But Field of 68 has been a thing for 3 years now.
Okay. Are you better now than you were in year one?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, like,
good would agree. My teasers are pretty good now. My teasers have gotten better.
No, but it's like, listen, I've done national sports radio, okay, and games for 21 years, okay. And look, you get into habits and there's things you got to do better than. And here's the other part, Matt. His staff's different, and I think when he had Larry Brown that staff, and sometimes Larry Brown's a Hall of Famer, like, okay, but he's kind of an overcoacher a little bit in college, and he wasn't the head coach, right? And so then when you're trying to coach your team and you got this Hall of Famer sitting next to you, like, who do I listen to? And so he's made some adjustments there. It's the same thing when when you do a radio show or you do a TV show, like some of it's not just the host or it's who's doing the camera, the mic, all that stuff and how it all works together. So I agree with Matt, but it's weird that it's like the one profession where nobody thinks you can actually get better. We make a determination over who you are, and that's it. Like, yeah, you actually can get better. Now, you can get lazy and mail it in and stop doing the work and stop watching the film, okay? And skip out of practice because I got a coach's show to do. I got to meet with somebody. Like, some of them do that. Don't get me wrong, but by and large, especially at the same place when you're a motivated, you're a competitive guy. Like Penny Hardaway didn't become an all-time great player because he wasn't a super competitive dude, right? And when you're that competitive, it's your hometown, it's your dream job, and one that you really did kind of stab Tubby in the back to go get. Like at some point, you got to start winning. That competitive nature makes you want to get better. How do I get better? How do I fix this thing? And I think they figured some of it out.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.